What means the Iceman mummy find to the scientific research?
The Iceman is a very specific mummy, a unique mummy. It's one of the oldest mummies we have at all. It's maybe the oldest mummy in the Alps. He's one of the few mummies that was conserved in a humid way, and he offers a lot of opportunities for scientific research. He's really perfectly preserved, so he allows us, for example, to reconstruct the full genome of the Iceman. It was the first time that a new sequencing technology was applied to the Iceman, a so-called next generation sequencing that allowed to reconstruct his full genome and give a lot of insights into his body. And altogether, he's a very unique mummy because he was also found with his equipment, with his tools, and he allows a unique insight into the Copper Age, into a time where we didn't know much before, and so also for both for the publicity and also for scientific purposes, it's a very special and important mummy.
What does it mean for the medical research?
For medical research, Ötzi is also very special because he allows us insights into diseases, into the history of diseases. For example, he was one of the first mummies where we could detect calcification of the arteries, so-called atherosclerosis, and the very special thing about it is that we also found a very strong genetic predisposition, and this was a big surprise also for the scientific community because it was not believed that this disease is that old. It was more believed it's a modern disease, a civilization disease that maybe occurred 120 years ago. But we found out that this disease was already present 5,300 years ago, and there was also this genetic predisposition around in this time period. Another example is that we found in his stomach the Helicobacter pylori. It's a pathogen of the stomach that's very frequent today. It can be found in almost half of the world's population today, and it causes in some people very severe disease from stomach ulcer to gastritis or even cancer. And we found out that the stomach pathogen was present already in Ötzi, and we could reconstruct his genome and thereby say something about the evolution and the history of this disease, which could help us in the future also to better understand and maybe find new ways to treat such very frequent, important diseases.
Do we know yet everything, or what can be still done in the future?
So Ötzi already allowed us a lot of surprises, and we hope to find much more. We are currently still investigating other bacteria in his stomach, in his body, by making a metagenomic analysis, and we hope that we maybe can identify additional bacteria that have caused other diseases, or maybe give us some insights how these diseases have developed over time, and give us new insights into the evolution of other bacteria, other diseases. So I think there's still a lot of surprises waiting for us by studying the Iceman.
What is fascinating by the Iceman?
The Iceman is really...
Sorry. This about the Iceman. What is so fascinating about the Iceman?
The Iceman is really unique, and I've studied many mummies in my scientific career. I studied Tutankhamun and Ramses III. I was involved in studies on catacomb mummies from Italy, from Germany, South American mummies, and the Iceman is so special. He's so uniquely preserved. He has really is a complete mummy. He was found with his tools, with his equipment, and he allows us a direct insight into a time period that was long ago, where we didn't know so much before we started to study the Iceman. And he also allows us so many insights into the disease evolution, also in the way people lived in this time period. And I think this makes the Iceman so special.
When and how did you first hear of the Iceman, and what was your reaction?
I was still a student in Munich, and I was studying anthropology, so I was already interested in mummies and ancient human beings. And then I heard about that the Iceman was found in the Alps, so it was just a few days after he was actually found. And it was a big thing, it was a big news, and for me it was very fascinating. And I started immediately also a bit dreaming about to maybe get in contact with the Iceman, to see the Iceman mummy, to maybe have one day the chance to study it. And this dream came true in the end when 10 years later, in 2003, 2004, when I was at the Institute of Pathology in Munich, where we got the chance to study a sample of his right hand, where he got a wound, and we analyzed this wound, and we found out that this wound already was about 3 to 4 years old. And that was the first scientific study I was involved, and now I'm really in charge and I'm happy about it.